Hey everyone, this is Lindsay. I want to welcome you back to my channel, and we are going to be crafting again today. Of course, I have a mess to clean up, but we are going to be making pockets with this. It dried. We made this the other day. It is like a homemade, handmade type cardstock out of vintage textbook pages. These were from what's it called? Let me show you the annuals book, the Time Life book of annuals. So from the 1970s. Oh my goodness, cat and dog. They're chasing or running around the house and knocking stuff over. So fun times. Okay, so before we have room to cut this up, I have to clean up what I had going on yesterday. And I say often, I like to do that on screen just to remind you all that you can clean up, you can start a new project, tuck things aside. Having a messy desk doesn't have to stop you. And I made these yesterday. They're so much fun, so pretty. They're a blue and pink splattered index cards. I'm putting them in my shop, so they are under Lindsay's Handmade if you're interested. So I'll just set that aside and let you know about that. Okay, so we have a little bit of room here. All right, what kind of a cutter do I want to use for this? Probably my big one. I have a big cutter, and I'm thinking I'm going to need that for this size. Normally, I don't bring my big cutter over here. I have a little Tonic Studios one that fits here, but I'm going to need my big one. This one I got on Amazon. It does not feel very sturdy, but boy, has it lasted. I've been really happy with it. All right, so we're going to be making pockets and then decorating some of them. Thinking about sizing right now. Well, now, there's not much room to manipulate this, but we will. This is probably the hardest part of this project because you're trying to cut a giant piece of paper. All right, I think we will do, let's see, if a journal page is normally, say, we'll do 5 inches wide. And it's not cutting all the way to the bottom. I'll just rip. That's not a problem. So I'm going to cut these in strips of 5 inches. And you can make your pockets any size you want, or turn them into journal cards or something else. This is just the size I decided to go for. I wonder how many pockets I'm going to get out of this. Quite a few, I think. 5. All right. Ooh. Once you cut it up, you start seeing the beauty of what we did with inking it up. All right, and then this isn't 5, so that's a scrap. We'll have to make into something else later because the goal is to use as much of it as possible. All right, so 5 inches by maybe 4 inches, 3 inches. Let's see what that looks like. 3 inches, 4 inches. I like 3 inches. I think we're going to, no. I think I have to go 4 inches for these because what I'm going to be decorating them with is some of the flowers from the book. And I think that 3 inches would be too small to fit most of the flowers. So we get 3 pockets per strip, little cutoffs that we are going to keep and figure out what to make with. That might be another video. I'm hoping my phone doesn't die. It's at 23%, but I need to get this video filmed. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. All right, another strip. You just cut, you don't worry about the edges of the paper. You just cut at the same dimensions, and then we will either glue down or stitch around any little parts of paper that might still be sticking up. It's just part of the process. I was so skeptical the first time I did this. I thought for sure that I was going to mess it up and that it was a lot harder than it looked. But nope. Well, we just lost backing. I don't think we need that. All right. All right, and then we have this strip, but we're setting that aside. All of these we will turn into something else, probably in another video. All right, we're gonna set that down. And, all right, here's our pockets. Now, they're pretty much done. I'm just gonna figure out which way I wanna orient them. And then I think I have my punch. I'm going to use my scalloped circle punch to just put a little notch in it. You don't have to do that, but I know right away which side goes on the journal page. For example, here's a journal page. Just grab one. This is one I jelly printed, but okay. So it would be glued here, here, and here on the page, and you could tuck things in back there. There is no right or wrong way. I'm just looking at each one and deciding how I want that pocket oriented. This is a great mass make. Once you've made the decision of what the next step is, then you easily can just keep going without thinking too much about it. And that's really nice. Like if you're watching a TV show or, you know, talking to somebody. Sometimes you have to re-punch a second time if your punch isn't that sharp or if your paper's too thick. Figure out what way I want them to go. Whew, that was close. I thought that wasn't going to go through. All right, see how there's like a little scrappy of paper right there on the bottom corner? I actually like that. I think it adds a ton of character, and I'm going to keep it. And if you wanted to, you could easily do half of them as pockets and half of them as journal cards and do them different ways and things like that. But we're mass making these just to make it go a little faster and to have a whole bunch of the same thing done. That works really well for me when I'm making things for the shop, because I will probably wind up with at least 3, probably more sets of pockets to put in the shop when I'm done. And so, well, I don't know what way I want that to go. Sometimes you just can't overthink it. Make a decision. So, clean up our little scrappy mess there. Throw that out. Okay, so now we have to decide if I'm gonna stitch these because of all of the little scraps of paper I don't want pulling off. However, you do not have to stitch them. I'll stitch them off screen. That way, you know, you don't, or I'll pause it, stitch them all, and come back. That way you don't have to, you can't really watch me since my sewing machine is off screen. But what I am going to do very quickly is take my art glitter glue, and I want to thank Tracy for sending this to me. She's an angel. And I thought the hype on this glue, because everybody hyped about, what's that name of that glue? Fabri-Tac. I mean, all of the journaling greats used it or use it. And I hate that stuff. I mean, yes, it sticks really well, but it is so goopy. It is, I don't know. I don't know how to use it. It lavas out the top. It's crazy expensive. I just so frustrated with it. So I haven't used it. If I could get it cheap, maybe I would, but I bought a few bottles on sale and then they don't have a very long shelf life either. So I was more than frustrated with that. So I have been on the holy grail search to find a better glue. And I found some that I'm more than happy with using, like this clear gel tacky glue. But Tracy, she said that I should try art glitter glue, and she sent it to me as part of an Amazon swap we did, which if you're interested in that, let me know. I make you a journal and you send me something off my Amazon wish list, and it's a ton of fun. So I didn't expect to like it this much. But it is about as perfect as glue can be. In fact, for most things, I like it better than hot glue, and I didn't think I would ever say that. Hot glue, the only thing I still really like hot glue for is some like buttons or big things, maybe even lace that needs to be grabbed immediately. But this is really close. It has a perfect thin line. You don't have to push. Okay, this is not a commercial. Oh my word, this is not a commercial for art glitter glue, but you would think it is. If you haven't tried it, try it. And I'm going to stop talking about it because I realize that I'm just going on and on about art glitter glue. Maybe that if you've been on the fence of trying it, you'll try it. So I'm just making sure there's nothing too big sticking out before I, gosh, where did I put my little pin that I took out? There it is. I need one of those tops like Gail has with the beads. I don't know where to get them, so let me know where to get them. All right. So now I'm going to stitch these and then we will quickly decorate. So let me pause, and this might jiggle just a little bit because I have to get to the pause button, but just give me a sec. And I am back, my friends. They are all stitched. Just simple, straight stitch. Sorry if I don't really know where the middle of what I'm trying to show you is. I can't see my screen the same way I used to be able to, but they're all stitched around. And so I could stop here. They're beautiful, but I want to ink them up, ink the edges, and I want to add a little floral image to each one. I love that the text on all of them is about flowers. Exceptionally colorful and tough, form and color indefinitely after everlasting straw flower, you know. So it's really neat for your journals. I'm trying to use up this Hampton Art dye ink little mini ink cube. This is a green color. Anyway, there's not much ink left in it. I'm trying to get as much as I can out of it, and then I will dye paper with what is left of it. And I may even do a video on that some point, because I just realized that I could get so much more mileage out of an ink pad by trickling water over the empty pad, or what seems to be empty. And sometimes I only get, you know, a few sheets worth of paper out of it, and sometimes there was one ink pad that I wound up getting a huge stack out of. There was so much ink left in that pad I couldn't get to. And I wouldn't do that with the maybe high-end pads that have re-inkers like the Tim Holtz ones. I probably buy the re-inkers and re-ink my pad, unless I do have a bunch of Tim Holtz minis. And I'm trying to decide if I want to re-ink my minis or if I want to purchase the big version of it when it runs out. So I'm still thinking about that one. But I will trickle water over the pad and then dip my papers into it and let them dry. And you never know what will come out. I did that with a brown ink and I got like a dusty pink colored paper out of it. So you just never know. So again, this is just mass inking. It is the same green I used for the stencil on here, so it coordinates really well. All right, they are all inked up. At this point, you could just stick them aside if you wanted to and then decorate them for each individual journal. But I'm going to pull out our little book, and these scraps here, I don't want to, I'll just cut it in half here. I'm going to set these in the book. That way I don't forget that we need to make something out of that. Okay, we have these gorgeous illustrations, and that's what I'm going to be pulling from to decorate these. I'm probably not going to be ripping out whole pages. I'll just be cutting out some of the flowers. I hope I'm in frame. I am. Okay. And how many do I need? I didn't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm looking for these smaller. Well, for some reason, it totally cut off. I really don't know why it did that. I'm glad I checked. And we did miss a few minutes but that's okay. We're still doing the same thing. I counted that there were 12 envelopes, and then I've just been cutting out images from the annuals book where these pages are from, inking them with green and gluing them down, not thinking too hard about it, just gluing them down, keeping it simple. Oh, and they're so beautiful. Oh, so that's what we're working on. So you missed that. We have a few left, but I don't know why my phone does that. And there's no way that I can watch my screen right now and craft. So what happens? Could be my phone too. I feel like this one is really glitchy as far as just cutting off filming compared to other phones I've had. So we'll probably get a different phone once T-Mobile lets me upgrade. Ooh, that one's so pretty without this. Oh, that does add to it. Pretty. So pretty. I love that we are decorating these envelopes with flowers from the same book. That's just, to me, so cool. Get rid of all of our scraps here. Try to keep a semi-clean workspace. I'm terrible at that. So pretty. If you want any of these envelopes, pockets, whatever you want to call them, I am listing them in my shop under Lindsay's Handmade. So if you're interested, that's where you can find them. Link is in the description box below. There'll probably be 2 sets of 6 pockets since there's 12 total, and you will get a random set of 6 since they're all extremely similar. I think this is our final 3, if I counted correctly, which chances are I have not. I should probably check and make sure I'm still filming. I am. Okay. Worries me. You put all that work into something like that to film it, you can't go back and redo it. It's already done, so it gets missed. We should have another Craft With Me video next week. I'm trying to do 2 Craft With Me videos a week, if possible. It's not always going to be that way. Just trying to brush off some of that glue. My fingers are getting sticky. I think it just adds to the grunge there. The ink is rubbing off on it. That's cool. I realized that I've been spending so much time showing other people's journals that I'm really missing chatting with you guys and creating and showing you what I've been working on. And I'm still going to be showing, obviously, everybody's journals. I've just consolidated it into certain days and organized myself a little bit so that nobody was left behind and everything was handled and taken care of, so that I could do my Craft With Me videos. And it has brought me a lot of joy to just be able to craft and upload a video of what I've been making and working on. Oh, that was my last one. Okay, perfect. So let's take a quick look at all of them. Look at how pretty. Oh, just look at those colors. What a fun project. I would love to see if you made a similar one. If you'd go to my Facebook group, Nevermore Creations, Junk Journals, and Friends, I'd love to see a picture of your work and see what you made. Thank you so much for watching. If you'll take a second to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, I would appreciate it. And I'll see y'all later with the next video. Thanks so much for watching.